and I can happily say that I'm gonna make videos again.
Stupid. I'm not gonna let you get the chance.
Okay, this is gonna be a video. So I think 2 videos ago, I literally explained why I wasn't making videos and that I would come back and be more consistent with it. And the reason that I wasn't making videos prior to that video was just due to exams and me not having my laptop because it was in the shop and it was being fixed because it wouldn't charge. So I got it back and I was really happy that I was able to play RuneScape again, or I was playing RuneScape before, but I was able to record footage for me playing RuneScape, and then I was able to make videos and I was able to have good streams and shit like that. But then literally less than a week later, my laptop fucking blue screens, and I wasn't even like, I wasn't on any sketchy websites or anything. I was literally watching fucking Yu-Gi-Oh because I saw something about Yu-Gi-Oh on YouTube and I was like, huh, I remember watching that as a kid. The show fucking sucks, by the way. Don't watch it. Like, it tilts the fuck out of me. And then my laptop just blue screens, like, out of nowhere. When I go to turn it back on, like, after it blue screened, I had no display. Like, my screen was just completely black. And this video is just going to be a little rant about Dell because this computer that in my life, I've had 2 desktops and 2 laptops. This laptop, it's a Dell Precision 5510. It is the worst pile of garbage I have ever fucking used. And it's supposed to be on the higher end of laptops too. I've had so many problems with it, and Dell is just so fucking garbage at fixing things that I just put up with the small issues, and then whenever a big issue would come up, like it's not charging or my laptop would blue screen, I have no display, then I would turn it in. So my first laptop, I forgot, oh, it wouldn't charge, but the reason wasn't due to the charging port, it was due to the actual charger, because I plugged it in one day, it wasn't charging, and then I used my friend's charger and it was working. So I was like, okay, I just need them to send me a new charger. The first one they sent me didn't work. The second one they sent me didn't work. The third one they sent me finally worked. And I called them after the second charger didn't work, and I'm like, look, you've sent me 2 fucking chargers. Neither of them have worked. I know it's not the port because my roommate's charger does work. I basically said, get your shit together and stop sending me defective chargers. So they fucking bubble wrapped it like 3 times and then wrote fragile in big capital letters, and then that one worked. So I don't know why the fuck the first 2 didn't work, and they had to be so fucking careful with sending me a third charger. So if I had to guess, they were just lazy with it and were just tossing it around like it was a fucking rag doll, and then it just broke on the way here, and that happened twice. And then so I finally got my third charger, and that started working. And then a little later down the line, I don't just plug an Ethernet cord into my laptop to get wired internet. I have to plug in an adapter, and then I plug the Ethernet cord into the adapter, and then I can get wired internet. So the first one that I had, it worked for like a couple months, and then it broke. And literally the same thing happened to my adapter that happened to my charging cords, where I shit you not, they sent me 4. This time it was 4, not like 3. They sent me 4 different ones before I got a working one. No, they didn't. No. They didn't send me 4. They sent me 4, and then I went out and bought one because I was getting fucking tilted. So what would happen is I would get it, and then it'd work for about like a week. And then I'd have to say like, hey, this doesn't fucking work. Send me another one. And that happened 4 times before I just said fuck it and went and bought an off-brand adapter from like fucking Walmart. And I've had this for like a year and a half, and it hasn't failed on me. So I don't know what the fuck's going on, but that happened 4 times in a row where they'd send me a faulty adapter and it would work for a bit, and then I'd have to get them to send me a new one. And that wasn't too big of a deal because the Wi-Fi at my university is really fucking good. But still, I prefer to have wired internet for things like streaming and such. So after that, I forgot exactly what happened to my laptop, but there was just like a bunch of issues, like a bunch of small issues that was just getting more and more annoying. And they were like my laptop would still function, everything's fine, but I took it down to my IT department and was like, what do you recommend I do? Like, I can deal with it, it's just really annoying. And they're like, well, your laptop's under warranty and we give you a temporary laptop. So I would just send it to Dell and just have them fix it. They'll get it back within a week. I'm like, all right, sweet. I haven't sent my laptop to Dell at this point to fix it, so I didn't know that it would take like a billion years. So I send my laptop to Dell. I get a temporary one. About 2 weeks later, I get an email saying your laptop's ready to be picked up. Go to the IT department, pick it up, blah, blah, blah. So I go down there, and it's a different fucking laptop. And they said that my current laptop was broken beyond repair, and they just sent me a new one. So I lost all my shit on my first laptop, and I was fucking pissed. I like asked the IT guys, I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this? I thought I was just gonna get my laptop back, and they're like, yeah, it was deemed beyond repair, so they just sent you a new one to make up for it. And I was like, well, there's no warning of this. Like, I was so pissed. I had some of my stuff backed up from, well, I had all my school stuff backed up, but I didn't have, like, any personal projects or, like, video shit backed up, so I was pretty fucking pissed. And that's, like, I've talked to, like, the managers and shit at the IT department and asked them to, like, contact Dell and find where my old laptop is just to get the hard drive out of it, but he basically told me to fuck off. That's a whole different story, but I was fuming at that manager. So I have this laptop. The laptop that I'm currently playing on is the one they sent me like a year and a half ago. And, you know, there hasn't been many problems with it, just small things here and there that I didn't like. I was genuinely afraid that if I have a single problem to send it back. Like, I did not want to send it back to Dell. I was only going to send it back if it was necessary. And I've had so many problems with this fucking laptop that, like, basically my philosophy was, as long as the laptop is functional, I am not sending it to Dell. The first time I sent it back was the charging issue, but before that, there were two which I considered big issues. There were smaller ones too, but the two big ones were every, like, hour or so, I would just hit a big, like, 10 to 15 second lag spike. And I had the task manager open when I wanted to try and fix it, and basically my CPU usage would spike up to like 100%, and it would just lag my computer for like 10 to 15 seconds. And if you watch my streams, you've probably noticed that in the past. And it's really fucking annoying when I'm like doing Inferno when that happens. And then the second one was every time I switched whatever the audio was coming out of, it would sometimes just completely mute my computer, and I would have to restart it to be able to get sound. Like, not if I switched it back, it didn't work. And sometimes disabling and re-enabling the speakers on like the device manager would work, but sometimes it didn't. So if it muted my audio, like if I plugged in earbuds or I switched the speakers to like my second monitor or something, then it would just randomly mute the audio. Sometimes disabling and re-enabling them would work, sometimes it didn't, and then if that didn't, I would have to restart my laptop, be able to get any audio. But usually I just had like one thing plugged in. I didn't really switch it around that much. And it didn't do it all the time. It did it like maybe 75% of the time. So if I got lucky, it wouldn't do it. But still, it was really fucking annoying having to restart my computer just because I want to plug in earbuds. So those are the two issues I had going on for a solid 3 to 4 months, and I have a lot of fucking patience because I did not want to send this thing to Dell. So I dealt with that for like 3 to 4 months. And then I just woke up one morning and my laptop stopped charging. And I didn't do anything with my laptop. I've only dropped it like once before that happened. It wasn't even like my fault that it did it. Well, I mean, it could have been. Like maybe I dropped it and then just made something loose. But at that point, I haven't dropped it in like a month or so. But it was just sitting on my desk. I was playing RuneScape before I went to bed. I went to bed and I woke up and it wasn't charging. So then I sent it to Dell, blah, blah, blah. You know the story. 3.5 weeks later, I finally get it back, make the 2 videos. And then not even a week after I get my primary laptop back, like it was literally 6 days after, I'm I'm back for winter break. I'm excited that I'm gonna have a lot more free time to make videos and play RuneScape. And then one night at 1 a.m., it was a Wednesday, well, I guess a Thursday morning, but a Wednesday night at 1 a.m., I'm watching fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't remember why I was watching Yu-Gi-Oh! I just remember just like seeing something in YouTube about it, and then I remembered loving that show as a child. Don't watch Yu-Gi-Oh! It's fucking garbage. So I'm watching Yu-Gi-Oh! And then my computer freezes, and then it blue screens, and then says, like, we're collecting data, we're gonna restart, blah, 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 all that fun shit. So I'm like, alright, hopefully nothing too bad happens. It turns on, well, I'm waiting for my computer to turn on. It's been like 2 minutes now, and then I look down, and I see that the power is on, but I have no display. So I'm like, okay, what the fuck? So I reset my computer again, and then I still have no display. So I'm fucking pissed, because it's been less than a week, and I have to send it back to Dell, so I thought. So it's 1 a.m., and Dell has 24/7 support, so I called them at 1 a.m., and then he was like, yeah, you're gonna have to send this back, after we did some tests and shit. And he asked me to open my laptop, and I didn't have a small enough screwdriver. I don't know if it was a small enough screwdriver or like a very specific one I needed, but who the fuck has like specified screwdrivers for their goddamn laptop just on deck? So I couldn't open it to do all the tests he wanted to. So he recommended I ship it to Dell again. And then this is where it starts really getting fucking rage inducing. So before I shipped it to Dell, my mother recommended that I take it to this computer store, which is Computer Direct Outlet, and basically they do free diagnostics tests. So I said, might as well, just in case it's something they can fix. So I took it to Computer Direct Outlet, and he opened the back of my computer. He takes one look and goes like, okay, what the fuck? And I'm like, what? And he points out 5 things, like literally 5, that were just wrong with my computer that he noticed on first glance. The first one was there was just a screw missing, and it wasn't missing when I sent it into Dell because I've never taken the screw out. I've never opened the back, so how could I have lost a screw if I've never touched the screw? So he said there was a screw missing, there was a stripped screw, 2 wires weren't put back correctly. Like there was like these wires near the fan that were supposed to be tucked under this little prong, but they just weren't tucked under correctly. And then the Wi-Fi card, there's like a card for Wi-Fi, I don't fucking know how it works, and it wasn't soldered to the board. And then the guy said I would like talk to Dell about this because they had to open the back of your laptop to be able to fix your charging port. So basically he said I'm willing to put money on them, just they just like didn't fucking care about this. Like these issues. And I was like, okay, this is ridiculous. So basically, too long didn't watch or too long didn't listen. Dell had to open the back of my laptop to fix an issue, but then didn't fix other issues that they found. So I made a tweet. I was pissed. I tweeted at Dell and said, hey, if I send my laptop in for repair and you notice anything wrong with it, it's just common courtesy to fix it. At the very least, you should ask whether you want them to fix it or not. It was something along those lines. I'll probably put the tweet on screen. And then Dell fucking responds. Like 3 different Dell Twitters responds. It was like Dell responded, Dell Cares responded, and Dell Cares Pro responded. So they responded, were like, hey, can you follow us so we can DM you? Which one you don't need to follow to DM people. You can have that option on Twitter off, so I don't know why they asked me to follow them. So we're just talking in the DMs, and it was basically like an 8-hour long conversation because they took a long ass time to respond to or between every single one, which I don't blame them for. You know, they have like 90,000 followers, so they're probably talking to a shit ton of people at once. So I'm not gonna get mad at them for taking a while to respond, but nothing came out of it. I told them the situation. They basically said, "Oh, well, you should send it in to Dell." I'm like, "Well, no shit. That's what the guy on the phone said." And also, in the original tweet, or somewhere in the original tweet, or in a DM or a comment, I said, like, I sent this in a week ago and now I have no display. What gives? And then the guy that I was DMing basically said, you said you could provide pictures with the issues. Could you please share them with me? So I provided the pictures and he said, okay, could you please download the latest driver? And I'm like, how do you want me to do that? And he goes, go to this website and download the driver. And I have no fucking display! And then he was like, oh, my apologies. And there's all this other dumb shit. And then he basically said, yeah, like if you can't even update the drivers or do a diagnostics test yourself, you're probably just gonna want to send it into Dell. So I was pissed. I told my mom because she did IT work and she majored in computer science. So I was seeing if she could help me, and she said, ask them if they can send an engineer down to try and fix it here, so you don't have to wait another 3.5 weeks. So that's what I did. I said, hey, like, the last time it took you guys 3.5 weeks to fix it, is there any way you can just send an engineer down to, like, personally to my house and try and fix it there? And then he was like, well, at first the guy I was DMing said yes, he could do that. I was like, all right, sweet. And then I gave him, like, the address and stuff. Also, every time, like, I would say something, he tried to verify my contact info. Every single time they tried to verify my contact info, they would get something wrong. And then at one point, they just copied and pasted what I sent them and then sent it back. Like, I'd sent them a message, and then they just copied and pasted it and sent it back. So, I don't know what the fuck that guy was smoking. Anyway, I'm getting off topic, well, kind of off topic, but, so, they were like, yeah, we can send an engineer down, can you just give us, like, a list of everything that's wrong, blah, 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 we'll get the right parts. Sent him a list, and then he was like, oh, yeah, we can't send an engineer down in case we don't, like, because we don't know what parts we need to fix it. And I was like, then why did you fucking say you could? Like, you just wasted a lot of my fucking time. So then, I sent it to Dell, like, literally after he said that, and they said it would be done within 5 business days, and that was the 20th that I sent it in, and I think 5 business days, excluding Christmas, because I didn't consider Christmas a business day, would be the 28th of December. So it's the 28th of December, which was 5 business days because of weekends and Christmas. And then I called them and I was like, look, it's been 5 business days. Where's my laptop? And then the guy was like, I understand your concern, blah, blah, blah. Your laptop's been released. We don't know why it hasn't shipped yet. So then I'm like, okay, whatever. So then I wait a few more days and it's like the 31st. It was the 31st. It was Christmas Eve. I was at my girlfriend's place because the guy recommended I call back on the 31st, which was a Monday. Yeah, it was a Monday. Because I called on 28th, which was a Friday, and he said that if I called back on a weekend, there wouldn't be any updates because it wasn't a business day. So I was at my girlfriend's place. I had to leave, like, whatever we were doing for, like, 30 minutes to call them back. And then the guy was like, yeah, we don't know why, it hasn't been released. Like, he said the exact same fucking thing as the last guy. Now, at this point, I was pretty fucking pissed, and I was like, dude, I'm not getting off the phone until we figure out where my laptop is. And the reason that I was being so stern with him is because I moved back into school January 8th, and I can't do my schoolwork without a laptop. I just can't. It's impossible. Well, unless I, like, every time I need to do homework or an assignment, I went down and used one of the school's public computers, but one, that's a bitch to, like, do, and two, like, you know, they could all be full or whatever. So I was like, look, I'm not getting off the phone until I figure out what's going on with my laptop because I need it before the 8th. And then the dude was like, okay, well, let me call the repair center. And I was like, one, why didn't you do that in the first fucking place? Two, why didn't any, because this is like the 4th time I've called. I've just skipped over the other times I've called because they said the exact same fucking thing. But two, why didn't any of the other idiots that I've called do that? So he puts me on hold for like 20 minutes, like not even exaggerating, 20 goddamn minutes. And then I'm like, dude, I've been sitting outside for like 30 minutes. I want to go hang out with my girlfriend and her family. Can you just email me the results of whatever? And basically, he was just calling the repair center to see why it's taking so long. And the guy was like, oh yeah, we actually got an update about 5 minutes ago. So like, one, why the fuck didn't you tell me? I don't know why I said one, like, yeah, why didn't you just tell me? And basically they said that the motherboard was busted and they needed to order a new one to fix it because they didn't have one in the office with them. And then he's like, so, yeah, we're just waiting on the motherboard, but there's also one more update that I'm waiting to get back, so that's why you're still on hold. And I was like, could you just put all this in an email for me because I want to go hang out with my girlfriend and her family again? And he was like, oh, yeah, we could do that. I mean, staying on the phone won't really, like, do much because... Or he basically hinted at, like, there's no difference between sending an email and being on the phone. And I got mad again because if he would have just said that from the start, I would have been fine with it. But I mean, I guess I said I'm not getting off the phone until I get an update, so that's probably why he didn't. But still, he didn't even suggest the idea. So at this point, I'm just straight up making plans to get a temporary laptop. My dad said that he would have given me his laptop if I didn't get it back before the 8th, which I was like, there's no fucking way I'm getting it back before the 8th. So I already made plans to get my dad's laptop for like the first week of school while they fix mine. And what do you know? On the 4th of January, I get my laptop back. So I'm really fucking happy. I'm like, okay, this is all over with. I'm gonna have no more issues. And if it does, I'm literally just gonna get a laptop that's not from Dell because this is fucking ridiculous. So I open up my laptop and I turn it on and the very first thing I see is, hello, like, welcome to your personalized laptop. Let's get started. And I'm like, fuck, they wiped my hard drive. So I don't know why, but yeah, they wiped my hard drive and I couldn't back up anything previously because I had no display. Whereas last time when my charger stopped charging it, I basically just hooked it up to the charger because it wasn't like depleting in charge. It just wasn't storing anymore, if that makes sense. So I just hooked up to the charger, backed up everything, and then I sent it to Dell. But this time I had no display, so I couldn't back up anything. And so that's basically where I am. They wiped my hard drive. I lost everything video related. I don't know why they wiped my hard drive because it was a motherboard issue, and I really don't know much about like laptops or hard drives, so I could just be like a fucking idiot here. But I feel like they didn't need to, and I was just so furious that I didn't want to like call them and make a big deal out of it because holy fuck, I do not want to talk to them anymore. But yeah, none of these issues have been my fault. Like, I don't, like, Obviously, I could have backed everything up. Like, what I should be doing is just backing up everything as soon as, like every night I should just back up whatever I have, but I don't know how it works with Camtasia recorder files because I record things with Camtasia and it saves it to a .trec file, which I don't know how that would work when trying to like back it up because you can only open that file in Camtasia. It's just really weird. I don't know exactly how it works or like how it would work if I wanted to back it up. Would work. I just don't know how this big of a company can be so incompetent when it comes to customer support. They told me to try and download the drivers when I explicitly told them I had no display, so I couldn't do anything on my computer. They estimated a week to fix both problems, like the charging port and the motherboard issue, and it took them the first time it took them over triple that, the second time it took them double that. And plus, like, when I talked on the phone, they just were not helpful at all. Like, they basically told me the same thing over and over and over until that one guy, bless his heart, actually went out of his way to try and contact his manager or supervisor. So he was pretty much the only competent person I ran into. The people on Twitter were fucking useless. They wouldn't have been useless if they were able to send an engineer down, but and I'm probably going to end up making an angry tweet about that. I'm basically just going to make a tweet listing all the problems I've had and then all the incompetencies. Is that a word, incompetencies? That's going to be really incompetent if that's not a word. So, yep. Holy fuck, this was a long video. Alright, thanks for watching. Hopefully going to continue regular uploads, but I don't know how my new schedule is going to be at school, so, yep. Talk to you guys later.